Long time no see. This video is going to be talking about the police application process, or specifically my police application process, and what I went through with the department that I chose and how they did things. There we go. So phase one was applying. You have to apply. Once you meet the minimum criteria, which obviously I did, I was then contacted to go to the next phase. For this specific department, I had to bring the completed background packet with me on the day of the physical and written test. The physical and written test was scheduled, and I showed up, of course. You check in, you sit down, they go through, you know, the greetings, thank you for being here, thank you for applying, we're happy to have you here, let's go over a few department guidelines. And so this department that I'm with is very strict on their tattoo policy, so you can't have anything like below the wrist or from the neck up. Anywho, so that happened. So I knew what to expect from the physical test because my department had the requirements and like videos of the specific physical fitness test on their website, which was great. So I was able to train beforehand for the test itself. So the physical test consisted of, for this specific department, the vertical jump, the agility run, the 300-meter sprint, push-ups, sit-ups, a 1.5-mile run. You had to get a total of 12 points, and then you could not get more than 2 zeros. In order for you to sit for the written test, you have to have passed your physical. The written test is, I thought it was easy only because I just kind of knew what to expect. It was, let's see, a memory section. There was a portion that was logic, there was a couple math problems in there, and then like the last portion of it was reading comprehension, and then it was like a personality behavioral question section that didn't really count towards your score. It was more so to aid in the psychological exam, if you will. So yeah, so that was the written test. It took about 2 weeks for us to get notification whether we passed or failed the written test. And if you passed it, which I did, you got a call from the HR department, and they called to schedule your background interview. Let me tell ya, I thought that was the longest 5 hours of my life. So they tell you to, mine happened to be at 8 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, just, you know, prepare to be there a little bit. Prepare for this portion of the process to last several hours. Mine lasted approximately 5. The interview started at 8, and then everything else happened in the course of 5 hours. I didn't leave there until about 1:15, so be prepared. You meet with your background investigator, who's going to be digging into your entire life over the course of the process. The background interview lasted about 2 hours. We went through that background packet like down to a T. Everything. Once that was complete, he was like, all right, now it's time for you to fill out like the dreaded like 300 plus questionnaire for the psych test. I think it was like 300 plus. One of them was 300, the other one, so it was like, I want to say it was around like 500 questions, but again, a lot of those questions are repeated but in a different way. So just be honest. That's what they're trying to see. So after that was done, I was then told that it was time for the polygraph examination. So the polygraph for this specific department, you run through it twice. So they ask you 6 questions with this one. 2 of them were control questions, like are the lights on in this room? Just to get like your base, if you will. It's okay to be nervous. I was nervous, and you find out whether you passed or failed literally before you leave. So after that portion, the background interview, which comprised of obviously the background interview, the psych test, and the polygraph exam, we had to schedule a ride-along. Great. Love ride-alongs. I decided to do the day shift, and I was paired with a field training officer, and I was able to ask a whole lot of questions. So the ride-along was really swell. I know some departments don't really care whether you do the ride-along or not, but for this specific department, you have to schedule a ride-along before the panel interview. So I was scheduled for a panel interview after my ride-along, and let me tell ya, the panel interview is just as stressful as one would think it to be. It was about an hour long, and I had my background investigator was sitting in on it, but he didn't really say anything. He just had my file. And then I had a captain, a lieutenant, a sergeant, and a detective. Obviously, you're going to be sitting at, like, you walk in and they're all sitting there looking very important and very intimidating. That's definitely the word for it. I mean, I felt completely at ease because I was like, you know what? I deserve a seat at this table. This is something that I've been working towards. Like, this is my time to shine. Fire those questions at me. They each had 5 questions each to ask me. They range anywhere from, I mean, there's YouTube videos about this, which is what I watched to get prepared for it. So each of them had 5 questions. They ranged anywhere from tell us a little bit about yourself, why this county, why do you want to work for this department, strength weaknesses, to scenario questions. And then make sure that you have like 3 solid questions to ask them at the end, because they're going to be like, so do you have any questions for us? And you better have questions, because you just have to. In any interview, you always have to have questions to ask the people. So that was the panel interview. So the panel interview was done, and then my background investigator and I walked out of the room into the lobby, just waiting while the captain and all them deliberated, tallied up my answers, went over my answers, tried to see if I would be a good fit for the department, whether they even wanted me to proceed with the process. I remember walking out of there, and I guess I had a look of just nervousness on my face, because my background investigator was just like, why are you nervous? He's like, you did fine. Then I was scheduled for a medical exam. So with the medical exam, they just go over your medical history. They take your urine, blood samples. They also vision test, color blindness test, hearing test. I think that was it. It's pretty much just to make sure that you're fit for duty. I passed the medical exam, and the next was the Psych Evaluation, or the Psych Interview. This is probably where a lot of applicants are booted out of the process. So, the Psych Interview. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. The Psych Interview itself was kind of brutal. When I tell you, I left that interview so unbelievably defeated that I wanted to skip out on the uniform fitting. I was on pins and needles, waiting for either a letter saying thank you but no thank you, or an email confirmation from my background investigator saying like, hey, I completed your file and it's being sent up to the chief for approval. And when he sent me that email saying like, hey, I completed your file, that meant that I passed the process. And the final process was just waiting to hear back with a job offer. Literally 2 days later, I get a call from my background investigator and the captain saying that I got the job offer, and that a written job offer would be sent to me via email in like a week. And that was the process. It took 6 months. So I start the academy July 30th. That's exciting. I hope that if you're going through this process, that you realize that this is something that is worthwhile, and I hope you do well. Couple tips: be honest, work out, and have fun. I'm excited. So that's the video. That's it. I'm done talking. I've been talking a while. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, just keep it moving. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this video did something for you.